Hey, Club and Org leaders. This is Nick Dressler, Assistant Dean in Campus Life, pronouns he, him. Hope you're having a great summer. Hope this isn't too much of a shock for you, but the Clubs and Orgs Fair is coming up, and we in Campus Life wanted to create a quick reference guide. Think of it as a crash course where you think through how to attract new club members in an inclusive way when it comes to your presence and engagement with prospective members at the Clubs and Orgs Fair. So let's jump in. First, I would love for you to consider that the Clubs and Orgs Fair is the first opportunity many, really most, first years have to engage with your club or organization. And so we really want you to consider the following in advance of the fair to help you attract prospective members in an equitable and inclusive way. We'll also have a quick reference guide available to you that will likely accompany this video. So if you don't feel like watching these next 7 or 8 minutes, you can refer to that instead. So let's jump in and talk about your table at the fair. So first of all, what does your table look like? And what is staged on or around it? You know, what is going to draw prospective club members in to talk to you? If it's a plain table with really almost nothing on it, it's probably going to be much less appealing unless someone, looked at the club or directory and saw your club, thought it was interesting from that, and made a point to visit you. But if it's just someone who's sort of wandering around the fair, you want to make your table as attractive as possible. And that includes, do you have things to give out that connect with your club or org and its mission? People sometimes have candy and other little goodies to give away like that. But if it's something really unique, that's gonna make it so that the prospective member remembers having a conversation with you. Remember, there's usually between 80 and 90 clubs and orgs at a fair, so it can be kind of overwhelming for first years to really take in everything in the short time that they visit the fair. And with that in mind, is there an easy way for prospective members to stay in the loop with your club or org's activities, like a Google group or a listserv sign-up sheet? If the line's really long and someone wants to visit another club, maybe they want to make sure they hit everyone before the fair ends. If you have some way for them to sign in or sign up, that is going to ensure that you can communicate with them after the fair about upcoming things like the first meeting, which we're going to cover in a future module like this, and really get those individuals continually engaged with your club and its activities. As a note, for those of you who are club or org leaders last year, you'll remember that we did have QR codes on signs for every club that linked directly to a club's Google group. We are going to have those again this year. So if you don't bring a sign-up sheet and you want to rely on your Google group, that's totally fine. But if you want to manually input them, you're also welcome to have your own sign-up sheet. So you also want to make sure that you are setting up your club for success by prepping your club members that are tabling. So even thinking through, are there specific talking points that you want to make sure they touch on when engaging with prospective members? Think about having a quick reference sheet for those people who are at your table so that, especially if you have a long line or, you want to make sure that crucial information gets to prospective members, that those club members, no matter who it is, especially if people are switching out over the course of the fair, no matter who it is, whoever's visiting your table gets that information. You also want to think through, how are your table and club or org members dressed? How are they representing your club? Do you have maybe club t-shirts or other gear that they could be wearing to sort of signify they're a part of your club? What is their body language? Body language is a huge factor in how a prospective member might interact with your club. And so is someone who's at your table, your club member or org member who's at your table, are they sort of standing there kind of sulky, just waiting for someone with their arms crossed? Or are they, paying attention to who's walking by and waving people over and being friendly and greeting? Are they engaging with prospective club members in a friendly, welcoming, and respectful way? Are they spending too much or too little time talking to specific individuals who walk up to the table? So you want to make sure that whoever's tabling has in mind, especially if you have a line, that everyone who's in that line is a potential club member, and this interaction is the first interaction that someone has with your club. So you want to make sure that while you have substantive and meaningful conversation, you're also keeping the line going so you're able to talk to as many people as possible. There's not an exact science to this, but it's worth having a conversation with those individuals to remind them of this. And this is something that, unfortunately, in campus life, we see decently frequently on a yearly basis at this fair. Are they paying attention to prospective members walking by? You know, as I said earlier, waving them in, being friendly, greeting them, or are they just talking with other club members who might be tabling with them, or the individuals at the tables near them? Now, many clubs sort of use the Clubs and Orgs Fair as a dual opportunity. One, certainly to attract prospective members, but two, also to catch up with maybe friends or other club leaders that they want to collaborate with during the course of the coming academic year. That, while it can serve a club well, if it's at the expense of or at the cost of ignoring prospective members as they're walking by, you're missing out on an opportunity to attract new members. So just keep that in mind. And finally, we encourage you to think through things prospective members might want to know. And so this could be a part of your quick reference sheet that I mentioned earlier. So they'll probably want to know your club or org's mission, you know, what you're all about, examples of things your club or org has done in the past. And, you know, the more interactive you can make this, the better. So if you maybe have photos you can show, or even potentially a video, that can be really cool. Examples of things your club or org is planning for this academic year. You know, it might be early, but if you have maybe traditional events or types of events that you typically do, you can share those kinds of things with the prospective member. When club meetings and other events are typically held, what the time commitment is. You know, in campus life, we kind of have this saying that volunteerism is a luxury, and you as a club or org leader might be or probably hyper aware of that fact. But you know, especially if you're a first year trying to figure out your schedule, not just your class schedule, but also your overall rhythm at the institution. Think back to when you were a first year, what a time commitment to a club is and what is expected of members is going to be crucial to that individual figuring out whether your club is a good fit for them. And what personal costs may be expected of members, if any. You know, at least for BCSG recognized clubs that are advised by Campus Life, we try to ensure that club experiences are free to members and work through with club leaders when there are situations that do require personal cost. So if you're in a situation as a BCSG recognized club that there is a cost for entry, essentially, or cost for full engagement, get in touch with us. We can troubleshoot and see what might be possible, because that is a barrier to entry, knowing that there's a substantial population of the Bates community that is on financial aid. We want to be as accessible to as many people as possible. That's going to enable you to attract and retain more members. So that's the crash course. I hope this was helpful. Please review the quick reference sheet that we're going to send out with this. We also hope to either have a meeting or maybe do some sort of a workshop. Could also look like something like this in the near future to help you think through what your first meetings with prospective club members look like in order to effectively retain them and make sure they're happy and engaged with your club. So until next time, this is Nick Dressler again, signing off. Have a great rest of your summer, folks.